Hello, this is Carolyn Hanson again, and we are now going to do round 2 of our granny square. So we finished with a slip stitch at the top of our turning chain, and now what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 more slip stitches to get us over to the next open space. So to do that, I'm going to go under both sides of the V and pull up a loop. That's 1 slip stitch. And I'm going to go through both sides of the V on the second one and pull up a stitch. I'm now in the position where I've reached the corner, the first corner of our granny square, and I'm going to start doing round 2. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to start with a chain 3. So again, we need a turning chain because, as you recall, when we double crochet, we start from the height of the stitch and then we go down to the foundation. So in order to get the proper height, we need to be this high. So now yarn over the hook, and we're going to go into the corner. Now when we do corners, and again we're doing clusters of 3 double crochets, so this chain 3 represents the first stitch in the cluster, and now we're doing a second stitch, which now gives us the end of the first cluster. Now we're going to chain 2, because whenever we do a corner from now on, we're going to be doing a cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets in the same corner every single time. And this will allow the granny square to grow to the proper size. So we're going to do another cluster of 3 double crochets in that same space. So the space is the space under the chain 2 from the prior round. Okay, so we now have 2 clusters of 3 double crochets, and so we have our first corner. Now, so there's a total of 6 double crochets. Even though this is a turning chain, it counts as a double crochet in that first corner. Now we're going to do a chain 1. We're doing a chain 1 over every cluster of 3. As you progress up into your rounds, you're always going to do a chain 1. And we're never crocheting into the tops of stitches other than our slip stitches. We're only crocheting into the spaces. So our next thing we're going to be doing is crocheting 3 double crochets into the next corner. And that's going to be followed by a chain 2, and then another cluster of 3 double crochets. So that's going to be the pattern. So it's pretty repetitive, so you should be able to memorize the pattern as you go. And the easiest way to count your double crochets is by the column. You can always count it by the V at the top, but it's also very easy to count the columns because they're so distinctive and easy, so pronounced and easy to see. So let me just finish this corner and then we'll count. You'll be able to see what I mean. Okay, so we have our second corner and one side. So here we have our corner, first corner. We have our side, which is represented by a single chain. And then we have our other corner, and this is how you count your double crochets. Here's 1, here's 2, 3, and then here's your chain 2, and then another 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're just going to continue this all the way around. We're going to do another chain 1 here because there's a cluster underneath. So we're going to do a chain 1 at the end of every 3 double crochet cluster. We're going to do 1 chain. Okay, and we're going to repeat this all the way around. And we do the chain 2 because we're at a corner, and then we do another cluster of 3 double crochets. And we do a chain 1 because we just finished our last cluster here, and there's 3 down here. So now we're going to go to our last corner and do 3 double crochets. And a chain 2. And here's here's our chain 2 and 3 more double crochets. And a chain 1. Now we're going to do a slip stitch into the top of the 3rd chain, and here it is, 1, 2, 3. And I'll show you a trick when we do the next time around on how to make sure that you always find it. So it's this stitch right here, and we're going to slip stitch into that space. And so here we have our 2nd round. So I'm going to stop the video, and then we'll make another video for round 3.